Spoiler alerts for everybody who's about to watch this video. We are going to be talking about Alita Battle Angel, and I'm going to give everything away. You've had your warning. I'm going to slow just to make sure you've heard it, and you leave now before I ruin the movie for you, and now I will move on. I absolutely hated Alita Battle Angel. I thought the combat was weak and short-lived. I thought the CGI was kind of okay, but I ultimately just really wanted to walk out. The only reason I didn't leave the theater halfway through is because I liked the CGI. I liked the concept of it. Now, most of you, if you follow my videos, you know I am a huge anime fan. I've been watching anime almost all of my life and playing games like Magic the Gathering, and hang out at comic shops and watch Dragon Ball Z and Yu Yu Hakusho and I was going to say Rurouni Kenshin. I only watched a little bit. I forgot most of that. But Bleach, watched all of that. Black Clover is what I'm super into that right now. And love Dragon Ball Super. They could do better, but it's pretty good. A lot of people have said to me that I'm wrong for not liking Alita Battle Angel. I'm going to talk about why. First, I have this article from Polygon, just as sort of like a placeholder as we launch into my take on this on the movie. Alita Battle Angel proves giant blockbusters can be too small to succeed. What two flops tell us about the state of big screen spectacle? Apparently, they're not making that much money. And if you're a fan of Alita Battle Angel, I mean you no disrespect. You are absolutely entitled to like the movie. And yeah, I'm not trying to rag on anybody's parade. I just want to tell you why I don't like it. Okay. First of all, I understand that this movie is like essentially a shot-for-shot remake of the original movie from like 1993, which I did not see. I don't feel that this movie had a beginning or an end, okay? That's important. The plot felt entirely fractured, jumpy, and the motivations made no sense. First, in the beginning, Dr. Ito discovers the, remnants of Alita and repairs her. And she doesn't know who she is or what's going on, and neither do I. I have no idea what's happening. They sort of dance around this little subplot of maybe she thinks Dr. Ito is murdering women or something, but it turns out he's a noble hunter warrior who's trying to take out criminals. She then, so the guy, Dr. Ito, who repairs her and, brings back to life, gets attacked, and she rescues him, which my understanding, too, is it's very similar to the original anime. She defeats this big guy whose name I can't even remember, and then he says, I'll never forget this or something. And then, okay, so there's a bunch I'm going to skip over, but basically they have this one very short-lived fight that lasts only a couple minutes, and she wins. Later on, she goes to this bar, and she's like, I want all of you to, like, protect me and Dr. Ito because this dude's threatening us. And I was like, wait. This dude's threatening us? You met the dude for, like, 5 minutes, and you kicked his arm off. And then he left. And now you're acting like he's been harassing your family and you need the support of all of these other bounty hunters to protect you. You beat him already. What are you complaining about? Why? Okay. She goes to all these bounty hunter dudes and she's like, who's going to fight alongside me and Dr. Ito? And I'm like, but why? You won. You beat the guy. Maybe she was, and then starts beating everybody up. She literally just starts beating up all of these other bounty hunters for seemingly no reason. And then she picks a fight with this dude, Zipan or whatever his name is, who probably was the only good villain, even though he was like a half villain. So I'll say this right now, to not get super ranty. The movie has no good villain. There's no strong villain. There's no strong motivation. You don't know why the big baddie, the main big bad guy, is doing anything. Dude, seriously, the main antagonist has actually like 10 or 15 seconds of screen time. All right. And if you count his mind controlling other people, I think he gets about a minute of screen time. So then there's a bunch of mini villains who I don't understand their motivations. I don't know who they are, what they want, or why they're doing anything. They don't explain it. They're just following the commands of Big Baddie, and you don't know why anything is happening. So let's talk about no beginning. First, so the movie starts with him finding Alita. She has a backstory, apparently. She's an berserker. What is that? No idea. Okay, we hear this really cool, that she's getting her memories back, and it's like, apparently she was a Martian super soldier. Oh, sure. What was that? Why was there a war? Why did any of this happen? Why is the bad guy a bad guy? Is he really a bad guy? Is she the bad guy? I have no idea. The movie literally just starts. And then all of a sudden she met some dude. She meets this guy, Hugo, and then for some reason falls in love with him, for no reason. They do very little. She hangs out with him a couple times, then she's like, I love you. And it turns out he's a bad guy or something. But then he redeems himself. Okay, another ranty point I'm just going to say right now, because this is getting, if you can follow through this, her boyfriend dies twice. I guess that's the same thing that happened in the anime, but I thought it was really, really dumb how it happened. Like, apparently he gets framed for a murder, which is stupid, because what? So the Zipan dude, Zipan or whatever his name is, kills a guy and then says, you did it. And then all of a sudden the guy's got a bounty on his head, and I'm like, wait, what? There's no, like, listen, I want to know why she is what she is and where she comes from. There's a lot of people who have said to me, if I knew the source material, I probably would have enjoyed it more. That's probably fair. I know a lot more about Ghost in the Shell, and I thought the Ghost in the Shell movie with Scarlett Johansson was kind of bad, but I really enjoyed it because I knew the characters. Like when Bato got his eyes blown off and replaced, I was like, oh, it's so cool to see the characters that I know and love in live action. I'm not familiar with Alita Battle Angel, and that's probably blasphemy to a lot of people for me being an anime fan, but I just didn't understand what was happening. I didn't know what was or why there was a war. So literally she just exists. There she goes. She's brought to life. And then you're like, okay, this can be a story. If they work through her backstory and explain it, she finds a new body. Dude won't give it to her. So she goes and picks a bunch of random fights with a bunch of people. And then she gets her body chopped off. And then the dude gives her body again. The whole thing, in my opinion, was just a series of sequences happening. The motivations didn't make sense. It was jumpy. There was no beginning. Like for me, what would have worked, and again, I'm not familiar with the source material, is the movie starts with a scene showing right? It's the United Republics of Mars or whatever. It shows them fighting on Earth, and then it shows her falling into the pit and dying, which they show later in the movie. Show that first, and then be like, what was that about? Why did that happen? And then she comes to life, and and so you as the audience member is like, oh wow, she's just like she was involved in this thing. What happened? Instead, you don't know what happened, and there's no ending either. So in the end, nothing happens. I'm not exaggerating, right? Like her boyfriend dies, and then it just shows her in this big sporting arena, and she points the sword she stole from that Zipan dude at the sky, where this big city floating in the sky is, and that's it. It's the end. And the other thing I take issue with is at the end. Okay, so at some point in the movie, she gets this futuristic nanotech body that can like emit plasma or something. Super cool. And I guess like in the anime, she can use it to like cut through people and do crazy things, and it like supercharges the sword she steals from the Zipan dude. And at the end, after her boyfriend dies the second time, it shows her with a completely different body, like a fully mechanical one. So she had a nanotech body, which was sleek and the most powerful weapon ever created. But then later it shows her with a mechanical body, and I don't know why. And I got really annoyed because it's clear that they're setting up a sequel, and then it shows briefly the Nova dude, Edward Norton, takes his glasses off. And I felt cheated. They want to make a sequel to a movie that had no story in the first place, okay? Like, so a lot of people were saying to me on Twitter, when I said I don't recommend it, I think it was a bad movie, they said I'm wrong, and my first response is name the villain. And everyone says Nova, right? Because Nova's the main big baddie. Oh, sure, Nova. The guy who takes over people's minds and has, if you include the mind takeover, he has a minute of screen time. I have no idea who he is. I have no idea what he wants. I have no idea where he came from. I have no idea how he's in a biological body and still alive for 300 plus years. Maybe he's a cyborg. I don't know. There's like, okay, you know who the best villain ever is? Mr. Freeze, animated series, Batman. He is a villain with a real motivation. He's not a one-dimensional character. If you're not familiar, the animated series, I think, won an Emmy for this. Mr. Freeze was a researcher. His wife was sick. He started allocating his grant money towards saving her life instead of what he was supposed to be doing. So then the people financing him got mad and shut him down. He gets into a fight, gets hit by a vat of chemicals, and then turns into this monster. And then desperately trying to find money to save the life of the woman he loves, becomes a reluctant criminal. It's such a sad and powerful story, and one of the best motivations for a villain ever. Thanos is a great villain in the MCU. He watched his world die because people wouldn't control their resources and reproduction. The overpopulation and the rapid expansion led to its complete collapse of his civilization. And now he has become a zealot who believes he must cull other civilizations. Culling is a real thing. We sometimes cull certain species in certain areas, like deer, for instance, when there's too many and they're ravaging the population. That's why we say you can kill certain animals. Thanos thinks he's saving the world. And so you see him as this like sad, desperate figure who thinks he's saving the world. Now let's go to Alita Battle Angel. The first big bad dude, Krusich, I don't even remember his name. No idea what his motivation is. He just attacks her and then says, oh, and then he's mad because he breaks her arm off. Then he's told to kill her by Nova for some reason. Don't know why. Maybe because she was at war with him or something, I'm assuming. So that guy has a weird motivation. The Zipan dude, I think his name is, who has the fancy sword, his motivation is that she kicked him in the face. And so now he wants to kill her boyfriend and her. And so he frames her boyfriend for murder. Really? She kicked you in the face? That's not a good motivation for a villain. All right. Then you have the other, I can't remember any of their names. Then you have the other dude who is like basically the mob boss. He's like the sub boss under Nova. No idea what he wants other than he was told to do something by Nova. Okay. So they're taking orders from Nova, but Nova has no motivation. We don't know who he is. I'm sorry, man. You lost me. It was cool to see action sequences. It was cool to see this like idea of cyborgs in the future. I thought the idea of the molecular blade that was wielded by Zipan was a really cool concept, where it's basically like it's down to the, molecule and it can cut through anything. Cool. It was fun watching fights. And I'll end by saying this before I prattle on for no reason. Somebody responded to my tweet about why I didn't like the movie. And they said, you are the type of person who ruined Transformers. You don't need a story. It's just robots and explosions. And I said, yeah, that's it. Alita was basically just robots fighting. But I'll tell you what, if I want to watch BattleBots, I'll watch BattleBots. I know, I'm being a dick. It was good CGI, it was interesting, but for the most part, I just wasn't into it at all. And that's about it. Apparently it's not doing so well. I'll say this though, to be fair. The critics, I don't agree with. I would not see this movie, and I would not tell my friends to see this movie. The audience really loved it. So, hey, look, I'm the odd man out. But I have no problem being wrong. I have no problem being wrong at all. Plain and simple. I'm out. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. I will see you all tomorrow at 10 a.m.